Hey guys, I got a beast from the door-to-door industry. This is going to be one of our first people on the podcast and YouTube channel where we interview people that have made millions of dollars in door-to-door sales. So we've got Gatlin Huntington with us today. Gatlin, where are you at right now? It looks like you're in your car getting ready to go pound some doors or train some guys. Where are you at right now?
Yeah, thanks, Duane. So I'm out here in Denver South, working everything from Aurora down to Colorado Springs. And yeah, currently sitting in the car before I go shadow and work with some of the boys, pounding doors, pounding
That's
pavement,
awesome.
baby.
So you have guys on doors and it's 11 o'clock. Is that right?
So our start time is 10:45. That's one of our non-negotiables. Our first door knocked on the day is 10:45, and our last door knock is always 15 minutes past sunset. So right now we've got the standard, our non-negotiables is 8:10. Everybody on the team, last raw door knock is 8:10. And then we follow up with the callbacks on the day. But the last raw door knock is 8:10.
Oh my heck. So you guys have a lot of people ask me when to knock doors. Here's a prime example of people starting at 10:45 and go until 8:10, 15 minutes past dark, and they're going all day long. These guys are not stopping. They're pounding doors. So a lot of you guys that are out there and say, hey, I knocked 15 minutes, I knocked for 2 hours and got contacts. If you're gonna do it at a high level, you gotta knock consistently. Gallon, what would you say some of the best practices for getting over the mental hiatus of getting out of your car, or that you train your guys, you sell a ton of pest control and stuff door to door. What do you do to get out of your car?
So yeah, in the door-to-door space, the saying is always the hardest door is the first door, which is the car door. So there isn't really any secret recipe to that. It's just get out, get after it. If you gotta kind of trick your brain, park the car down away from where you're actually going to start, get out and walk up a block or two to where you're actually going to start working. So that way you can get rid of the distraction of, oh, my car's there, there's my comfort. Just go ahead and leave it, get away from it. You're not going to see it for hours anyway. And then set correct systems, like put systems in place so then you don't have to keep making up these decisions about what my day looks like. Create the systems of what you want your day to look like before you start even knocking. Like when you wake up, what does your morning look like, your morning routine? I call them non-negotiables. For me, 6:15 every morning, I wake up and I don't need to go through my whole day, but you have to create systems. So then you're eliminating this factor of should I do this or should I not? You already know what your day is going to look like.
How long are, what are those systems? Let's just dive into that. What are the systems that keep you from receiving a phone call going, oh man, now I can get off the doors because this other client wants to talk to me about setting up a system or buying my product? What do you do?
Yeah, so you can always trick yourself into believing that the phone call, the text message, the email, I got to follow up with somebody from the day before is more important than the current door that you're about to knock. In the door-to-door space, there's nothing more important than the doors you're knocking right then, right there. So part of standards with a team per rep, the average standard is 175 knocked doors a day and 50 decision makers. So it might sound like a lot, and it honestly is, and you can't really, fake that. That's one thing that goes back to your behavior is if you want success and you want to be successful, and people define success differently, but we're specifically talking about door to door. If you want to be successful, it's a decision. And when it comes down to sales, the more people that you are in front of, specifically decision makers, the more opportunities you have throughout the day, kind of a cheat code, you're giving yourself more opportunities to actually not only apply the skill set that you've learned in sales, but actually close deals and make money.
Yeah, that's money. So you're saying 175 doors you're knocking a day, and you want to talk to 50 decision makers, ones that could say yes or no to buying a product, to making a decision to move forward.
Yeah, because again, you're not going to sell everybody. And that's one thing I tell the guys all the time is don't be so serious. Don't be so hard on yourself and realize that you're going to go through 47 no's on those decision makers and you only need 3 yeses and you've made a few $1,000 on the day. And you go ahead and put consistency behind those 3 yeses over the course of a summer, you're making tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars off of the small marginal yeses. So you don't need lots of yeses. You only need a few to make it worth it.
So it's a numbers game is what you're saying.
It is a numbers game, and it's a numbers game. Law of averages, I always tell the guys, it takes place once you've perfected the process. You can't perfect the process until you've actually put in the time. So guys that want to, take this learning curve and get through it sooner than later, you take a guy that knocks 100 doors a day and talks to 25 decision makers. That guy is going to take 2 days of work to do what the guy that does 175 doors, knock 50 decision makers. He gets through his learning curve in a week, where the other guy took 2 weeks. So if you're wanting to perfect the process, you have to get in repetitions. And by doing repetitions, you start to develop a skill set. So now you can lean onto this law of averages that decision makers now are going to amount to sales, because I've developed the skill set, putting in the time through the doors and the repetitions that I'm seeing every single day.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that takes grit and grind and a desire to go win, right?
100%. I tell the guys all the time, like, listen, beat yesterday's self, win the day today. You don't need to win every day. In fact, you're not going to win every day. That's impossible to do. And this is a thing from Andy Frisella, like win the day. You only need to win, if you're knocking from Monday to Saturday, you only need to win 3-4 days and you win the week. You don't need to win all 4 weeks in the month. You need to win 3 of them and you win the month. You win 3 months, you win the summer. So again, you're going to have setbacks. That's part of it. But beat yesterday's self and win the day.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge right there. Gatlin, how many doors have you knocked?
I've knocked tens of thousands of doors. And that's not an exaggeration at all. This is now a decade of me doing door to door. This turned into a means to an end, or it was a means to an end, which has now turned into the career. There's nothing like it that has a greater return on time than door knocking.
It's so true. I mean, I had a medical career and was making a high fat 6-figure salary and got into door-to-door sales, and I blow that away now. So it's not a career that people should look down on. A door-to-door salesman, honestly, I think is a way better career than any doctor, because we make more money than them, right? So it's definitely something that people have to look at. But how many doors do you knock on, or they just say, oh yeah, I've been waiting for you to come by, please come in, we want your product?
So those definitely happen, but they don't happen unless you're out there.
Right.
Nothing's going to fall into the lap unless you're out there knocking. And they happen. But even then, there's going to be questions. They're always asking buying questions. And sometimes it's just clarity. You just need to answer with a lot of confidence based on what they're looking for, and basically explain the service, and they buy you, right? If you're knocking and you've got everything, you're following your systems and you're doing everything you should be doing, but you're kind of walking around mean mugging people, and you're carrying your emotions and you're wearing them on your sleeves because you just talked to a rude person the door before. Well, the next door you're about to knock had no idea that you just had a tough conversation. So the best sales reps and anyone door to door, if they can go from door to door with no loss of enthusiasm, they're going to see a super successful day.
Dude, it's huge. So I love that you said they buy you. I mean, Gatlin's got a smile that could make most people just buy him around that huge beard, but it's so true. The people do buy you, and you have to be confident in what you're saying. Give me 3 things that you would tell anybody just starting doors to help them be successful.
So the first thing is, you got to understand why you're going to do it. If you don't understand why you're willing to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation day in and day out, then reason 2 and 3 don't even matter. So you have to understand why you're putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation. And what I mean by uncomfortable is you're knocking all day long to see these results that you're wanting to have happen. You're hoping to make $10,000 in a week, or $100,000 in a month, or $1 million in a year, whatever it is. You have to understand, like, this is why I'm willing to be uncomfortable, and because you're going to lean on it. And sometimes you have to have a few reasons as to why you're doing this. And I'm not talking about like what's, like, why do you want to do this? To make a lot of money. That's a what. Like, what does that do for you? Like, dig deeper into what the core reason is to what's going to push you past uncomfortable days. If it's snowing outside, if it's raining outside, like again, we're in Colorado. Last week, it literally was snowing on us, and we're out here throwing in deals and building value in the service, and we're still selling, but we're out working still, right? Even with the weather and everything going on, it's one of the non-negotiables. We know why we're doing it. The next thing I would say is have fun while doing it. And you can have fun while doing it when you sell. If you don't know, if you're not selling, you could be doing the funnest thing in the world. You could have the funnest incentive given or the best bonus given to you. But if you're not selling, then your happiness is going to be lower than you're hoping it to be. So be obsessive in learning the content in your space, whether it's real estate, whether it's pest control, whether it's solar, whether it's alarms, whatever your space is, be obsessive. That'd be the second thing. Be obsessive in learning the content so that you can go ahead and be knowledgeable about your space and carry that into your door-to-door knocking. So know your why, be obsessive with the training, and then don't deviate from your system that you put in place.
Dude, that's money. I love one of the things that he repeated multiple times. You guys, if you want to make $1 million like Gatlin does selling door to door, you have got to use the word non-negotiable. He said that probably 6 or 7 times in this short recording. It can't happen. You just can't negotiate with yourself on anything other than being successful, hitting the hours, hitting the doors, and getting the number of contacts you need to, and working, whether it's snowing. I hear so many people, even in my real estate coaching programs, it's like, oh, it was rainy, so we didn't go out. That doesn't happen with successful people. Oh, it was hot. Gavin, have you ever knocked in the heat?
So yeah, I started in Houston, Texas, which for those that don't know what Houston, Texas is, or a Florida market, Fort Lauderdale, they're humid, they're sticky, they're hot, they're uncomfortable. But yeah, again, we saw a tremendous amount of success. I'll give you an example of one of my reps. In the last 15 days, he's done over 150,000 in serviced revenue. And in those 15 days, it snowed 8 of them.
Wow, that's money. Dude, that's grit. That's grit.
That's grit. The guys are willing to work. They understand their why. They understand the purpose. They know what benefit's going to come from it, how it's going to impact themselves, their lives, their future lives, the families they're going to have. And anybody that says like money isn't everything, you've just not made enough of it to give it away, because you can help a lot of people by making money.
Dude, that's an incredible mindset. Well, Gatlin, I thank you for taking the time in between knocking doors to go train some more guys, to literally drop a bomb of knowledge. People, listen to what Gatlin's saying. He's a beast when it comes to door-to-door real estate and door-to-door sales in general. And he can teach you a lot of things if you'll just apply the principles that he taught today. So Gatlin, thanks again, buddy, for being on today. And I appreciate you and all your knowledge.
See you, Duane.
See you, man.